Hi, folks. It's Kevin, and today's the day that I was playing the lecture for this week, one that Jenna did on NumPy and Pandas, and I wanted to open up the Jupyter notebook like Jenna had and follow along. And I realized that I didn't have the configuration correct in order to make that happen. And you may be in the same situation. So let me just reproduce that situation. I'm doing this on the on Mac OS. Okay, but the principles are pretty much the same on Windows. So I'm only going to do one of these. But if I go to downloads, I've got a couple of things here in my downloads that are like old, and I don't know why I don't seem to be able to get rid of this. But let me get rid of this one, and I'm having a hard time today. Let me get rid of this one. Okay, so I'm going to open up the browser. Okay, and I'm going to go to our. I was trying to go to my home page. And that's what I use to get to our weekly schedule because I can get to all of them here. But this is a weekly schedule for IS 430 in the summer of 2023. And if we go to week 9, which we're in right now today, and we click on files related to NumPy and Pandas lectures, and we say we're allowed to download, okay, and then we go back to downloads, okay, please excuse the noise, one of my reminders. Um, And let's see, the setting that I have in the machine here, which I usually turn off, is that if I download a zip file, it automatically unzips it. So that's why you can see that uh, I've got a Pandas notebook, a NumPy notebook, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, and it's right now in downloads. Okay. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the terminal, which is essentially working at the command line. So if you're in Windows, you would go to the command line for where you can work with Anaconda, right? And let me make the text just a little bit bigger. And so I could say conda env list. So, and it would list my Conda virtual environments. I only have one, E for Trainer Python course. Okay. And I'm going to say Conda activate E for Trainer Python, E for Trainer Python course. So that's going to activate the virtual env that we're using for the course. Okay. And uh, included in that virtual env was Jupyter notebooks. So we ought to be able to start up the server by typing Jupyter with a Y space notebook. Okay. And it's going to run the notebook server, and it's opening up um, the browser. Okay. And of course, uh, that notebook file that I want to use, I've downloaded it into downloads. So let's just go to downloads and say, okay, we can go there. And there it is. NumPy Pandas lecture, that's a directory. Okay, and we're starting off with the NumPy lectures. We're going to do that first. And that's looking good. Okay. And here we go. And if we're following along with the lecture as Jenna did it, the first thing that we do if we're following along is we're going to execute this first code cell, which does the import NumPy as NP. And when I went to do that, it failed. So let's just see if I'm going to get a failure again on this one. A little slow. Ah, here we are. I got a module not found there, and no module named NumPy. And then I thought, geez, when we set up our virtual environment for the summer, didn't we include the things that were covering at the end of the course, NumPy and Pandas and Matplotlib? I thought we had, but apparently we didn't. Okay. So let's get out of this notebook. Okay. So we want to leave the page. And then we can come back to our terminal, which is the command line for the Mac. And I'm just going to do a Control C to stop the server and give it a Y enter. Okay, so we're still in that virtual end. And if I want to know what packages are in that virtual env when it's activated, I can just say conda list. And it'll give me a list of the packages in alphabetical order. And let's go up and look for, under N, let's look for NumPy, not there. And under P, look for Pandas, not there. And under M, let's look for Matplotlib. And we have Matplotlib inline, but I think we need more Matplotlib. Okay. So, yeah, we forgot to do it. Okay, so how do we recover from that? Well, for right now, I'm just going to type exit in my terminal window and close it. And the way in our course that we're managing our virtual environments and the packages in them is we're using Anaconda Navigator. Now, I think that's working for just about everybody in the current semester. If it's not working for you and you have to work at the Anaconda command line, well, you can install these packages at the command line by first activating the virtual env and then typing conda space install space package name. Okay. But most of us are using Anaconda Navigator. And so here we have E4 Trainer Python course, and we select that. Okay, so how are we going to install NumPy and Pandas and Matplotlib? Well, over in this right panel area, at the top on the left-hand side, there's a drop-down where you pick what it shows. It's currently shown what's installed in this virtual env, so we're going to pick not installed. Okay. And the first one we're going to look for is NumPy, spelled numpy. Okay. And it gets you in the general area, and you can see that, yeah, there's a package NumPy. So we click there, and then we're going to have to click apply, and it shows us what's going to be installed. Takes a minute or so. and we click apply again. And if we watch down here at the bottom, that's where we see the action actually going on. Okay, so it's still doing some of that applying. All right, and fetching and stuff like that. As long as you see action down here, you know that it's still carrying out your action, and now it seems to be done. So I'm going to go up to the search box and click X to clear NumPy. And the next one that we want is Pandas, P-A-N-D-A-S. And you can see that down here we see Pandas. So we'll click that checkbox. And the checkbox really doesn't behave like a checkbox. Whoever did that interaction design ought to be punished. But it shows the arrow for the download. And now we're going to click apply. Again, it looks at all the packages that it would install. It gives us a list. And when it's done with that list, it lights up the supply button. Okay, now we click apply. And we watch that work. Okay. And again, how long these things take to install have to do with, how fast your computer is, how fast your connection to the internet is, and how fast how busy the repository is on the Anaconda side. So it's, I think this is about average time, but it might take longer for you. Now we're going to right click in the search box and clear pandas, and then we're going to type in matplotlib. And here's matplotlib. We're going to click that to get to select the box, and then click apply, and then it's going to give us that's going to give us a list of everything that's going to get installed, and we're going to click apply again. And again, we're going to watch this little area down here until that activity clears. Okay, so that's done. Now, if you want to just look at the packages that are installed, remember that we changed the drop down to not installed. So now we have to change it back to installed and clear this matplotlib search. And now they'll all be here in alphabetical order, but let's just look for matplotlib, for instance, which will be under M. Matplotlib. Okay, so we have all these, and now we can close Anaconda Navigator. Okay, and again, if you want to run Jupyter Notebooks, if you want to run the Jupyter Notebook server and you don't want to have to do it indirectly through starting a PyCharm, which we're not using in this unit, well then you bring up a command line terminal, and again in Mac OS you would do terminal. On Windows you would start up the Anaconda command line. And again, I'm going to make these a little bit bigger so we can see what I'm typing. Okay. So if you couldn't get the install to work on Anaconda Navigator, you can always install packages with Conda at the command line. Okay, so you have to activate your virtual M first. So Conda activate E4 Trainer Python course. And we see that over here. And then we can just say conda list, and we'll get a list of everything that's in here. And that should include NumPy. Let's see, that's there. NumPy's here. And Pandas is here. And M comes before P, so matplotlib's there too, so they're all there. But let's say that they weren't there, okay? You can install uh, packages at the command line by saying stuff like conda install package name, okay? Enter. All right, so for people whose Conda Navigator's not cooperating, you could do that there. Okay, but we have everything that we need here, and we're at the command line. So how do you start the Jupyter Notebook server? Jupyter with a Y space notebook. Okay, so we see that starting up. And it should fire up our browser, which it did. And again, my files are in downloads. I'm going to go there, and here's the directory that they're in. And I want to go to the notebook for NumPy, and here it is. And you'll remember that this went wrong for us last time, so let's try this again. So we're just going to go down to cell 1, and we're going to do a shift enter to execute it, and we're going to wait for a number to show up here to see what order it's executing in. And when we get a number there, we'll know it's executed the cell. And the last time it took a little while, and then it blew up. But this time it's not going to blow up because we did it the right way. So it says 1 here, it ran the cell. Okay, so that one worked. And then let's just go back to the directory and get the Pandas one. Okay, and confirm that that's going to do the imports as well. Okay, so there's some of the lecture notes, but again, the first cell here is to do the import on NumPy and Pandas, and we're going to do a shift enter, and we're going to wait for that cell to resolve. Yep, resolve with a 1. And somewhere down here, we're going to do, we haven't gotten to matplotlib yet, but I'm sure that'll work. We're doing that next week. Okay, so I'm not going to save the changes to these notebooks. Lead page. Okay, and when I go back to the terminal, I need to do a Control C to say I want to stop the server, and then a Y enter to confirm, and then I can just type exit to stop the terminal window, and that is it. Okay, so I apologize for the fact that we forgot to include those 3 packages when we built the virtual env at the beginning of the semester. But now you know how to add them. Okay, and you ought to be able to keep up with the lecture, and you ought to be able to do your homework assignments, and everything should be fine. So I'm going to say bye until next time. Bye-bye.